What's up guys, my name is Jason. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to a talk between Gali from HyperChange and Dave from Dave Lee Investing. I'll be leaving both their channels and their Twitter handles down in the description if you don't know who they are already. And also, big shout out to Dave for letting me use his video to react to. In the video though, I'll be kind of incorporating myself into their talk where they mostly talk about Elon Musk's impact on Tesla and Tesla's 3 biggest risks for shareholders. But anyways, let's just get into the video.
We talk about often the potential of Tesla, et cetera, but what about the risks of Tesla? Personally, I think in some ways, the higher the valuation that Tesla is at, it poses actually there's some benefit because they're able to raise money, easier. They have bigger market cap, more credibility, et cetera. But on the flip side, there's a lot of expectations built into that valuation, right? So, how do you see the risks of Tesla going forward? Are you concerned about any of them? Do you see one of them as particularly kind of standout-ish or?
So the biggest risk for Tesla were threefold. There was the financial risk, there was the fleet-wide hack or autopilot crashing risk, and Elon Musk dying risk. Frankly, I'm just being straight up. These are the 3 risks. Financial risk is off the table. That's perceived solvency. They were reliant in the capital markets, believing they would succeed to be able to continue raising money to fund their business plan. Now they can fund themselves internally. That's huge, changes the game. Structurally, the cash flow profile of Tesla has a massive de-riskment. I think the equity markets are frankly a lot smarter than people give them credit for, and that's why the equity value of Tesla went up. Because it was the chance of them going to 2 trill is almost assured the second their financial thing works. So the second the Model 3 works, of course the Model Y is going to work. And so you can kind of extrapolate a lot of those cash flows, but so that's been solved. That's amazing.
I agree with Gali here, and I'm guessing that I won't be disagreeing with Gali or Dave when it comes to whatever they say about Tesla, just because they know so much more than me, and I'm not afraid to admit that. The goal for me right now is to learn as much as I can about a business like Tesla and business in general, and then maybe later down the line, I'll be the first YouTuber to be excited about a stock that no one is talking about, and then it goes to the moon like Tesla. But I just wanted to emphasize the fact that Elon Musk literally said that Tesla almost went bankrupt multiple times. And I'm going to assume that we're all glad that they didn't, because 2-3 years ago, if they had, all these other automakers would be focusing on making the best new ICE vehicle rather than saving the environment and improving the technology in their cars. Because when it comes down to it, if Tesla had never made electric vehicles a thing, then all these other automakers would not be trying to make them right now, just because they wouldn't be producing as much profit as a regular ICE vehicle. But now, Tesla can bring in money in literally the snap of a finger.
But you look at risk at Tesla, fleet-wide hack. Everything's connected. They're testing this autopilot software. If they move too fast, it hacks, it gets bad press. That's, I think, a lot of the risk there. But I think, they have a world-class enterprise cybersecurity team that's going to try and handle that.
True again, Elon legit said that if anyone can hack the software on their autonomous chips or something like that, then he'd hire them on the spot. And he literally said it at Autonomy Day, I think it was. You can go look it up for yourselves if you don't believe me. That's the type of power you have when you have a bunch of genius engineers that work for you. But going back to what Gali said, if they were to get hacked, that would cause a lot of bad press. And the same thing happened with Apple, with the Apple Newton in 1993, 94, something like that. Apple just released it ahead of its time, and they didn't get it right the first time, so it just died down due to bad press. Although they did get it right with the iPhone, which we all know what happened with that.
Second thing, Elon Musk. Every company I want to invest in, if they don't have a key man clause, if your key man dies and your company is still fine, I don't want to invest because it's not going to be a game-changing company. You need a visionary at the helm who is a key man. And so that is just Tesla. And so, as there's so little risk and it's so going well that it's sad to say that is the to me, really the biggest risk. Something happens to Elon.
Okay. So something happening to Elon, how do you process that? Do you think it's just such a small risk that you don't really, think about it and it's just kind of not really, a big concern? Or do you actually think it's a legitimate, something to be concerned about?
I price it into the discount rate of my Tesla stock, but like I said, it's just you can't have it any other way. You're not going to have the best visionary CEO in the world who's not a key man. So I just don't overthink it. And I'm he's got security, he's young. Elon Musk has 20 years ahead of him to crush it, or 10 years, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if Elon dies? Suddenly.
Yeah. Oh
sorry for bringing this up. And this is no, sorry, man. And let's not.
No, but seriously, okay. So investor, okay, I don't know.
And okay, I want
But yeah,
to qualify this by saying like, I'm like, by far, like, I love Elon and want the best for him. I hope that he lives, the longest life possible. And this is,
but he would want us to do this analysis.
yeah,
If
exactly.
Elon was an investor,
Sure,
analyzing his own company,
exactly.
he would think this through.
Yeah, so this is in no way personal or any way, like, this is purely on a investment type of analytical approach. Like, what if, Elon is out of the equation? What happens to Tesla and the company, the valuation, the path forward? Like, what's your take?
Financially successful is huge. I think that means they're going to be fine. And frankly, you got Drew, you got Jerome, you got Martin, you have a culture of 40,000 people. I mean, I think this keeps crushing it. It's still going to change the world. That to me is the biggest, brightest news of like these past 2 years. Everyone thinks the world's going like this, but Tesla's going like this. Tesla went from like this thing that nobody thought was going to succeed to like, I'm like, no matter what, they're going to change the industry. Volkswagen, GM, whatever, they're already investing. Rivian's already putting the money. Bezos already wants to be Elon at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bezos can't wait to be the EV guy if Elon's out of the equation. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's so to me, the actual victory of us changing the world, maybe it's a question of how many years we can really accelerate the transition off fossil fuels.
Yeah.
But the fact that Tesla is moving that needle and we have become the de facto force pushing this fossil fuel transition like away from fossil fuels faster, pushing the whole auto industry to it, pushing battery technology forward, which increases the energy efficiency. Like to me, the war's already been won. And so I think Tesla could frankly execute until 2030 and still grow 5 trillion even without him. And that's just like a testament to the work Elon's done.
Very off-topic question, but would you guys be surprised if Elon Musk was like a robot or like an alien from Mars who was just trying to get back home? That's why he's so like focused on going back to Mars. I have no idea, because this guy's just doing some incredible stuff, and you can only really look to someone like Thomas Jefferson and be like, yeah, he's making that type of impact on the world. But leave your comments down below. I'm kind of curious. To
this point is because it would still look at Apple. I don't think Tim Cook's really created all that value. I think it's just these as long these things are hard to kill once you start them.
Yeah,
They change the world.
Yeah. So 5 trillion in 2030 without Elon, you think that's possible even?
Maybe. But it's like, I'm going to be waking up every day to analyze it, to figure out if they're on that track.
So. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like in some ways, like short-term wise, I feel like if we're in like a kind of a high stock price area, then if Elon, let's say, like suddenly passes or etc., I think we do have quite a large fall, short-term wise, especially if we're
it's a drop.
It's gonna be it won't be pretty. If we're in a low stock price type of environment where moves pessimistic, etc., and Elon passes, then I don't think we have as much of a drop, in my opinion, because I think there's certain value that's like intrinsic to Tesla, and there's certain things that are more like highly likely even without Elon to happen. I think like if with Elon out of the equation, a lot of the optionality that I value in Tesla disappears in some ways, or is much harder to be realized. And what I mean is, for example, like with Elon at the helm, it's like so many things are possible that we haven't even thought about right now.
Yes. And I this is the perfect time to change the subject to like,
go for it.
It's not about if Elon goes away or in a negative way. It's like, this is why we love Elon.
Sure,
exactly.
This is
how much value he adds.
Exactly,
he is the never expiring call option of the greatest inventor of all time.
Exactly.
These cash flows we get in perpetuity because we own this stock.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's what I'm talking about, right? You've got this guy who has figured it out, how to create value from nothing. Like he's figured out the principles where he's like, hey, you find out, you get in touch with technology, you see. You create value, you have this awesome team of the smartest people in the world come together, you push them with tangible goals, and you fund them and you lead them with inspiration, and you get like some amazing things that can happen. And he's just reproducing this model, like over and over with Boring Company, with Neuralink, with whatever. And he's doing that inside Tesla, but people aren't fully catching it, Like he's starting all of these new ventures, new companies in a sense inside Tesla. And people like, it's so out of the box. They can't get it because it looks like just one company, Tesla, and it looks like just cars right now. But behind the scenes, Elon is just like doing the same thing, starting all these new ventures inside the company that aren't fully like realized in value yet, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much more to learn about Elon Musk and the remarkable growth his companies are having. Like, for example, SpaceX, the Boring Company, OpenAI, Neuralink, and I'm pretty sure there's 2 more. So that's a lot of companies for one person. And again, I've said this before, Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. So now that I've said that, who wouldn't want to work for Tesla, where they're literally changing the world and solving a huge problem, which is air pollution? If making super cool cars that solve a problem like that does not sound cool to you, then I'm really just curious what you consider cool. Carry on.
And some of them take a long time. Like, for example, solar roof. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was at the reveal and I'm like, hey, this is gonna take a while to get better and for it to grow and ramp. Cause I'm like, it's a hard product. Like, this thing is tough. Like, if I was like in this business, I wouldn't want to do it because it's like so daunting to make a roof that's like stable and doesn't have problems and with doesn't even have a high margin in a sense. You know, it's just one of these like things that no one wants to get into. But Elon is like, this is a new company. Solar Roof is a new company, right? Tesla Energy Storage is a new company. Autonomy is a new company, you know, like robotaxi, all this stuff. And like, I think we take for granted that, hey, you know, all this stuff will happen, right? And I think the more mature stuff and the stuff that has already kind of passed the tipping point will happen. Like, for example, autonomy will happen, the vehicles will happen, Tesla Energy will happen. But there are a lot of things that are still like haven't passed that maturity point of to have its own momentum. And it needs kind of like the Elon Musk kind of like, you know, touch. Like, for example, HVAC, you know, Tesla HVAC, like it's not going to, without Elon,
Yes.
it might not happen, you know? It's like,
Oh yeah, exactly. That's a
yeah,
perfect example.
it's like Tesla RV, you know, without Elon, I don't know. With Elon, like, you know, lots of things can happen, like vertical takeoff and landing jet. Like, without Elon, this isn't happening, you know, at Tesla. With Elon, like, there's a very good chance that, you know, like, I peg it at like, you know, 70-80% that actually goes under Tesla. But all of this optionality, option call, the value of all this extra innovation and stuff, it does damper the company, in my opinion, in some ways, you know, and in significant ways. Like, as you're talking about, it's like a discussion of how valuable Elon really is to the company, you know, like he is like a key man, like he is bringing so much of that value to that company in terms of future possibility and growth. And that's why every dollar that he earns, every share of stock that he earns with his compensation plan is completely worth it, you know, because he's delivering value that other people just can't deliver. Like, you take almost any other CEO in the world, stick him in the same spot, it's going to be a completely different company and completely different strategy, right? I mean, Elon carries with him, you know, something that is rare, you know, and I think, yeah, without him, I think Tesla, the more mature stuff does well, but we lose a lot of, you know, the excitement, the unlimited potential of the company, you know, that we have, like that captures our imagination in a sense right now.
Anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and also don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to get a free stock from Robinhood when you open an account with them using the first link in the description. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.